Come with me, day 3 of my Montana trip. First off, we're headed to Jam for brunch. It has a 4.5 on Google. I also gave it the same rating just because the pancakes weren't quite all the way there for me. It has a really cool Arco Deco type interior. We actually were able to be sat right away, which was crazy because it was absolutely packed in. It was a Friday. We had to start off, of course, with their signature bread and jam. This was absolutely amazing. Blueberry, strawberry, apple, cinnamon spread. All amazing. We also got a side of bacon. It was really good, but it could have been a lot crispier. This was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was a pancake flight, 3 pancakes for $22. The blueberry ricotta was amazing. It was my favorite thing. It came with some lemon. It was so delightful. The peanut butter cup was really good, but it was too dense for me, too much chocolate. It melted everywhere, not my favorite. The banana foster was also really good, but it could have done with a little bit more oomph. We also got the stuffed French toast that had almonds and mascarpone. It was absolutely delicious. We then headed to Canyon River Spa. I was very impressed. This was the bougiest spa I have ever been to. We did the Beautifying Spa Day. It had a massage, a facial, a body scrub treatment, and a hair treatment. We were unable to do the hair treatment because we were pressed for time as my companion had to catch a flight and they had too much downtime between services. That is why I docked him a half of a point. We also didn't get the light lunch that we were supposed to get, and the gift that we got sent home with was pretty lame in the end. They do have a barista, which is really cool. Coffee, tea, alcoholic beverages, pretty much anything you want, you can get there. This was the waiting room. Like I said, very high end. This is very bougie. This is not a cheap experience, but it was one of the highlights of my trip. I did use some Google photos throughout the video because I did not get quite the pictures that I wanted to, but again, I wanted to give you guys the full experience. This is the entrance. They have all of their products on sale. They use Avita, which is a very good brand. This is the girls' locker room. Place for shoes, place for jackets, tons of mirrors, tons of lockers. They had all of their products that you could use for when you were done to try to get dressed back up. They had showers. They had another bathroom towards the corner over there in the end. This was also one of the biggest spa bathrooms I've ever been in my life. They give you really nice Sherpa robes to wear and these little sandals. It was really nice. This is also the waiting room. They have snacks, coffee out here, some water. I really like this waiting room. It doesn't look as white as the pictures. I'm assuming that means that they must have changed out the couches, but it was definitely a vibe. And there was a lot of people out here waiting in between services, which was actually kind of cool. And there was another bathroom, and then you walk into here and you have a place to hang up your robes, and then you have the steam shower and you have the sauna. We did both. They were amazing. My only caveat was we had to go all the way to the front while we were already in our robes and tell them to turn it on. It should have already been ready. This was a very good massage. It wasn't anything super fabulous or anything, which is why I didn't give it a 9 or a 10. I get massages all the time. I have a masseuse, so it was just pretty good. It was very relaxing. I did like that they did an aromatherapy throughout the session, and they constantly spoke to you actually and did some like deep breathing techniques, which was really unique. I did the dual exfoliation facial. It starts off with a microdermabrasion type rub, and then they do a semi-soft chemical peel for their second exfoliator, and they did the steam and everything. It was very good. It was very relaxing. I just would have liked to see a little bit more bouginess aspect of it for the price. I then did a body scrub. This was the coolest thing out of my entire day. It looks like a torture chamber, but it was so cool. So you get completely naked. You lay on plastic on these towels, and then they do a scrub, like completely head to toe body, front and back. But then when you're done with your front, they turn the shower on and like wash you with warm water. And then they'll do lotion, and then they flip you over and repeat on the other side. It was definitely unique and kind of uncomfortable at first, but if you're comfortable with yourself and with other people, it is really cool, and I was so soft. I then headed 30 minutes outside of Bozeman to Livingston, which is a really cute little town. They had their Christmas lights up. I was absolutely obsessed. I started off by going to the Murray Hotel. It was established in 1904. It is definitely a staple here. They have 3 restaurants and a bar. I didn't stay here, but you can stay here. The rooms have a very wide range from 130 to 350 because they have full-on suites. This was the entrance. It was super cute. Very small though. I've also heard some paranormal activity, so check that out. I headed to 2nd Street Bistro, which is one of the restaurants attached. I absolutely loved it. They give you a glass of champagne upon sitting. The only reason they didn't get a 5-star for me is because the food took forever to come out, but that's how you know it's really good food. The bread was amazing. But to put in perspective, it took me like 15 minutes just to get my bread, but it was right out of the oven. I had to ask for the balsamic drizzle because you cannot do bread without balsamic and oil. This was my first time trying escargot, and I will never go back. It was creamy and garlicky and delicious, and then they baked it in this puff pastry in these little tiny individual discs. And so you dig out the escargot with the buttery goodness and the flakes of the crust. It was one of the best appetizers I've ever had in my life. I then did the rabbit. I'm actually a big game person. Elk is one of my favorite cuts of meat, so I was very, very impressed. It was tender, it was juicy. They could have used some salt and pepper on the asparagus and the mashed potatoes and a little bit more of each, but the rabbit was amazing. And the eggnog creme brulee was really good, but it did not taste like eggnog. I then headed to my hotel for the night, the Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott. Google gave it a 2. I gave it a 3. It was clean. Everything was in working order. I got checked in and out nice. The price was good for the room that you got. This was about what my room would have looked like. Overall, I had an amazing day 3. I enjoyed being bougie. Follow along for more for day 4 and the rest of my Montana road trip. And thanks for following Cooper Travel. Love y'all.